A vehicle can be new only once, right? Well, maybe not. Take a look at these. These are restomods, which are restored modification vehicles, and they're made by a company called Velocity down in Pensacola, Florida. I'm with Stuart Wilson, who's the CEO of Velocity, and he's going to explain how the company takes a classic car like this 1966 Bronco and makes it basically brand new again. Hi, Stuart.
Hey, Richard.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? We've got vehicles that essentially look like they could be sitting in the showroom, but they're not brand new, or are they?
Yeah, so they are not brand new. We do start with original VIN vehicles that we do build from the ground up. We consider them re-engineered.
Yes.
At the end of the day, this is 3 of our models. We offer about 10 different models from this era of 60 to 70 vehicles. We are actually pushing into the 80s now. But at the end of the day, this is the first model that we ever brought to life. This was the Bronco. The company started with my personal Bronco. This is the horse in the stable for us, per se. We've built about 700 of these to date. This is the one that sort of is the main icon of Velocity today.
Stuart, at Automotive News, we cover new cars, and I don't think we've ever used the term restomod in the paper. What is a restomod?
These utilize an original vehicle as the base platform, and then we bring them to today's driving standards. A lot of clients don't want to be out in the garage Saturday morning messing with oil leaks, power steering leaks, trying to get it running.
No points and condensers, no carburetors, none of that stuff.
Yeah, no, the wife doesn't want to drive it, the kids don't want to be part of it, right? So, but they want that nostalgia look. They want the legacy of these vehicles, and so we've done that where we blend the old with the new. These are 70 mile, 80 mile per hour driving vehicles, daily drivers, modern air conditioning, power windows, power locks, wireless phone chargers, but they look like they came right out of 1960 and 1970.
But this is not just a car with new parts put on it and a nice paint job, because you've put a complete brand new modern chassis under it too.
Sure. Yeah, so we've got a team of about 4 to 5 engineers in-house that do all the design work. We manufacture a lot of our own suspension components, fuel components, exhaust, steering, multiple components on these vehicles to fix those sort of off-the-shelf problems.
Okay, I got to ask you about the price and about dealers. These are not inexpensive vehicles. You need at least 250,000, maybe 300 and change. Who's the customer for a vehicle that acts new but looks old?
Yeah, so our client really is honestly sort of me. Around that 45 to 50 years old, sort of there's a target window there. They still have family at home. The wife is involved in this purchase. They want to enjoy it with their kids. They're pointing back to sort of a point in their past that they might have rode with dad or grandpa or something like that. They've reached a milestone in their career and they want to reward themselves and they want to share that memory with their current family.
I see an International Scout, I see a classic Bronco, and I see a Chevy truck. Are there any other vehicles in your lineup?
Yeah, so we offer some Mustangs, fastback Mustang, convertible Mustang, Fox body, the K10, the C10. We offer an F-150. We're bringing out a new crew cab F-350 this year as well. So we've got about 9 to 10 models in our product lineup today.
As you know, there's a new version of the Scout coming. And I've never been in a classic Scout. Would you take us for a ride in it?
Absolutely. We'd love
to. All right, let's go.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm sitting in the passenger seat of a 1971 International, and I got to tell you, it doesn't smell like a 71 International. It smells like a brand new car, and it feels pretty nice. I mean, if I look at the console and the dash, the word craftsmanship comes to mind. But then again, if it's $300,000, it better be pretty don't know. Who's the buyer for this vehicle? Is it a crypto bro, an athlete, or?
Yeah, so really about 10 to 15% of our buyers are athletes, crypto, hedge fund sort of type buyers.
Yeah.
Most of them are buyers similar to myself that were a founder of a company. They've exited, they've reached a career milestone. They want to share a memory with a family. That's roughly 70% of our buyers.
If I'm a new car dealer and I also sell classic cars, could I be a dealer for Velocity? How would that work out?
Yes, we currently have several dealers around the country. We initially sort of started with small boutique dealers, sort of realized they didn't have the sales systems in place and the follow-up and the experience that we wanted. Velocity is really centric on ownership experience, and so we need to align with dealers that care about that experience also, that really wants to lay out the red carpet. So we've got 5 or 6 select dealerships around the country today that we're doing business with. 2 of them are McLaren dealerships. 1 is a Ford dealership out in Vegas. But they're in our targeted metro areas. Most of them, the founder, the GM, are a true enthusiast of our product. They own one, they want to be involved in the brand, and we've seen those brands be the most successful as a dealer.
Listen, I got to ask you, as a person who has restored cars myself, I have to ask you about the paintwork on these vehicles. It's spectacular. I mean, the paintwork is what you would expect on a premium, super premium luxury car. How do you guys do that in a plant in Pensacola, Florida? Because we don't think of Pensacola, Florida as any place that's, connected to the auto industry like Detroit is.
Yeah, so we've really designed a assembly line process that we can teach those craftsmen that step of the process at a very high degree. We've got a full quality team. My manager in the paint department has been with me 10 years. He's an expert in paint and body work. At the end of the day, it goes through several quality checks. It's a slow process, but it makes the vehicle what it is.
So how does the buying process work? This is a vehicle that was originally made in 1971. Do I just bring my old International to you guys and hand you the keys and come back in a few months and it's new, or
yes.
what?
So we have had some people bring us their vehicle. Yeah. For the most part, we've got sort of 2 different buying models. Yeah. It's the client that wants to be involved in every detail of the build. They come to us, we lay out their entire build, we'll do design work around it, pick every option for them, then we'll go build the car. And so that design process can take around 3 months or so normally. And then once they get into production, the vehicle takes about 4 months to build. The other buyers are buyers that they want the vehicle for this weekend, they want it for a birthday, they want it for Valentine's Day. And we actually keep vehicles in showrooms for those buyers that just, hey, I want a blue one, but I don't have to pick everything. They can go buy out of our showroom.
So companies like Rolls-Royce and Jaguar Land Rover have these bespoke ordering programs where you go in and you go look through color books and all that. Is that the same process for you guys where?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we've got a full design center there in Pensacola. We've also got a design packet that we can send out so you can touch everything, feel everything, and make your choices remotely.
I noticed on your website that you actually have inventory, and that these are not built to order, that you actually have some that can be just bought like right away.
Yeah.
How do you determine in advance like the colors you're going to do and the demand for like a Bronco over a truck?
We obviously track historical data, how long certain colors stay around, how many we sell per year, and we keep those most popular options in inventory.
Is business good?
Business is great. We started this business in 2012. It was a mom and pop sort of traditional restoration customization shop. Yeah. And in 2020, going into 21, we pivoted to what you see today, which is we're building about 150, 175 cars a year on 4 assembly lines. And once we made that transition, the entire company has sort of been flipped upside down. So this year we're on target. We're 30% year over year growth. And we're just trying to, get production in gear to meet that demand.
So looking around here, I don't see a lot in the way of modern safety equipment. There's no airbag there. Do you offer things like anti-lock brakes and traction control, or is that basically not?
So this vehicle is actually on a very special Legends chassis built by Roadster Shop out of Chicago. Okay. This platform actually has ABS. It doesn't have airbags, anything along those lines, but it does have ABS available.
Okay.
But most of our other builds, they have disc brakes, they have Hydro Boost braking, they've got several of those features, but it's not a full ABS airbag outfitted vehicle.
In Detroit, where we closely track production, we see that SUVs are just outselling cars by, SUVs are like 60% of the market or more. Are you seeing more interest in SUVs and trucks than you are in the Mustang that you're selling?
Yeah, so the Mustang's really only like a 2-year-old product for us, and we do see a lot of runway in the Mustang. We've had a lot of lead generation. We just recently bought another Mustang brand that we brought in-house, but we started with Broncos. And so Broncos is definitely still makes up 50% of our revenue. All the other models make up about 50% of our revenue, but we do see a long path ahead for both the SUV and the trucks, or and the cars. Are you considering adding any other new old products? Yeah, so we're coming out with our crew cab F350 truck, dent side truck. We also Q1 of next year, we'll complete like our first 5 Fox body Mustangs. We launched it last year, but we only built one, and we've gone back to the drawing board and really trying to make that special. It was actually my first car, but we're bringing out the Fox body, and then we're starting to dabble with a 4-door family-oriented SUV as well.
If somebody wanted an electric powertrain, is that something you could do?
We have done a couple electric powertrains. We haven't seen a big demand for it. It's definitely diminished, but we have built a few.
Okay, last question for you. You use brand new engines and transmissions and running gear. What kind of warranty would I get for my $300,000?
So we offer a 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty.
Okay.
Got about 200 partners around the country that can handle those warranties for us. And then we offer an extended 4-year bumper-to-bumper. That's paint, mechanical, leather, anything on the vehicle.
And since it uses a GM engine, then parts are, you could just go to any Chevy dealer and get what you needed, or...
Yeah, so that's where we've really differed from a lot of our competitors. They use a lot of off-the-shelf aftermarket components. Yeah. Bottom line is aftermarket components don't have near the engineering in them as OE components. So we've really tried to design our vehicles around OE materials and grades that are serviceable for our clients in the future.
Don't ever trust the reporter when he says, that's the last question. This will be the last question. What's the difference between your company and all the other restomod companies that are doing things with Porsches and Land Rover Defenders and basically in the same market? What makes you guys different?
Yeah, a few key things. Number one, we operate on an assembly line mentality. So our craftsmen, it's not one person just trying to fight through and build the whole entire vehicle. They specialize in putting that wiring harness in, and they put that wiring harness in every single day. Most other companies haven't invested in the quality controls and engineering controls. Like I mentioned, we use the OE products a lot. Also, in a lot of the other companies, because they don't have the scale of where we're at, they might only build one Scout for the year. Well, when you only build one of something, you don't get good at it, right? And so like we've built 700 Broncos. At this point, we know the ins and out of everything of how to make them absolutely perfect. Okay. And to me, that really sets us apart from a lot of our competitors, is that we build 10 K5s in a row and we get better with every single one of them, instead of just, oh, we built one this year, we don't really know which suspension, which steering to put on it. We'll build another one next year and we'll make some changes.
Okay. Stuart Wilson, thank you for spending time with Automotive News. And I have to say, of all the vehicles we've covered lately, this is probably the most interesting.
Thanks, Richard.
Okay.